Yes, the year that I'm reporting on, which is the year 17-18, which ends on the 31st of March this year, is a year we've been able to see that economic growth, although it was really the first full year after the referendum to leave the European Union. And you've seen how we've been able to increase the GDP, how there's been a very healthy surplus indeed, £36.1 million. So all in all, a very good year for Gibraltar. We're now embarked on another year. This is financial year 18-19. It's the year that will see us almost leave the European Union. We'll leave on the 29th of March this year, and the next budget will be after that date.
Another significant measure announced has been a 10% rise in social insurance. Is there a danger that this will hit the lower paid and also encourage employers to pay off the books?
I really don't think that's the case at all. If you look at the rise, it's 10%, which means that the maximum amount that somebody will pay, the lowest paid in our economy will pay, will go up by £2.75 a week. I mean, that is literally absolutely nothing. If you look at the value of minimum wage going up by 30p, twice almost inflation. So I think there's very little to be concerned about there. And what you're purchasing with that amount, what you're purchasing with that social insurance is the best insurance policy in the world. It's access to the Gibraltar Health Authority, access to Gibraltar's welfare state. So this is probably the best value for money that anybody gets anywhere in the world, and I would encourage people not to see this in any way as a rise that they should be against. It's about a responsible measure to ensure that we are able to sustain the welfare state that we have today. Whatever shocks might come, if any come, and we are almost sure that none will, we're going to work to ensure that none come, whatever shocks might come in respect of Brexit. We're not at Brexit yet. We have to make sure that we are match fit when it happens, and that's why this particular measure is important. And we can all pretend that it's too high, we can all pretend whatever we like, but look, this 10% is a very, very small amount when paid per week, and we mustn't pretend that it's anything other than an important and responsible step in the right direction.
You've also announced measures to tackle tobacco. Are you anticipating a backlash from tobacco traders locally?
I don't think so. If you look at the increases I have delivered, the increases are in the one-off fees that are payable in some instances once a year. These haven't changed for many years, and I think it's right that we reflect the value of the business that some people are doing in the tobacco industry, very healthy trade that they're doing in that industry, in the fees that they pay. I mean, some people are making many hundreds of thousands, if not millions of pounds. I don't think they should complain because a fee goes up from £5 to £5,000, because in the context of the amounts that are being earned, the old fees have really become entirely irrelevant. And if you look at the duties, there is something we must do in relation to tobacco. We must discourage people from smoking, and that is the way that we are going to approach tobacco duty now going forward. In some instances, in relation to water pipe tobacco, the government has detected an illegitimate market developing, where there's a very small amount of that tobacco consumed in Gibraltar, but literally tons of the tobacco are being introduced, where only a few kilos are being smoked in Gibraltar, sold in Gibraltar. There are tons being imported, and that tobacco is then making its way into other markets. It's the third year in a row that I put the duty up 3 times in respect of that particular commodity, because I think it's important that Gibraltar is always able to hold up its head high and say, when we detect illegitimate market activity, we deal with it.
As you had previously mentioned on Direct Democracy on GBC, you're taking measures to stop people from speculating on affordable homes. But is this too little too late? Is this a structural problem that should have been addressed sooner?
It can't be too little too late, because it's not a problem that has manifested itself yet. Nobody has been able to sell an affordable home at Beachview Terraces or at Mons Calpe Mews.
See those homes go on the market?
Well, you've seen them go on the market as advertised for sale as from next February, so that we are more than in good time to take the measure that I've taken this time, which is to ensure that the taxpayer gets an element of profit in respect of those sales. We're not saying the sales can't happen, but we must have a fair share of those sales, something that wasn't dealt with in the underlease that was used, which is the same underlease that was used by the former administration in their sales of affordable homes. We want to be very clear. We want to continue building affordable homes for our community. In order to do so, we need to ensure that affordable homes are not used in a way that is contrary to the intention of the government. In other words, these are not homes for people to flip and make profit on. These are homes for people to live in and to build Gibraltarian families. And if you have to sell for a good reason, if that's family breakdown, if you're forced to sell for some other reason, then this stamp duty will not apply. If you continue to stay in one of those homes until you move into a larger affordable home because you're a meritorious upgrader, this stamp duty will not apply. There'll always be discretion not to apply it in the right circumstances. Governments can't always envisage circumstances when things should not apply, so those applications can go to the government land board and we can make decisions then. And of course this will be phased out after the relevant period of years.